The relief fund, I saw there was a few requests coming through for vehicles.
Yeah, we'll be reading that here in a moment.
Okay.
With the resolution for.
Okay.
The financials is last week's too.
Okay.
Correct, yes.
Very good.
Yeah, those were just the cash transfers for the reimbursements.
Okay. Any questions or comments related to the financials?
Nope.
Okay, a motion, please.
Second?
Mr. DeVore?
Yes.
Mr. Spiller?
Aye.
Mr. Lundey?
Yes. All
And
right.
then the next item on the agenda is the resolution of acceptance for the CARES Act expenditures. So this resolution is a total of $133,741.29. For reimbursement, it's $11,933.22. For ADP, this includes a block of 24 hours of support to aid in setting up VPN connections for county employees working from home. $7,917.08 from DES for a monitor and accessories for video conferencing to aid in social distancing and work from home, and $176.14 from the Sheriff's Office to purchase software to improve the scheduling for the CCW permits and background checks in order to prevent the spread of COVID-19. And then, so for the proposed, now we have $121,808.07. This includes $36,710 for the auditor's office for the purchase of an SUV with either vinyl or leather seats to be able to disinfect the interior and prevent cross-contamination by daily occupants, and $33,199.98 from the engineer's office for PPE, and additional 5 laptops and docking stations for remote working, 63 vehicle cleanings and sanitations, and 3 additional mechanic tool sets to minimize tool sharing and cross-contamination. $41,350 for the prosecutor's office for the purchase of a mid-size SUV with either vinyl or leather seats with a 3rd row seat to be able to disinfect the interior and prevent cross-contamination of daily occupants. And $10,548.09 for transit for the purchase of 2 floor scrubbers for daily cleaning and sanitizing of the bus garage and office floors.
Okay, so the vehicles with these vinyl seats or leather seats or whatever, I mean, I understand what the thinking is. Is it legal? I mean, do we have a legal opinion on,
I did
does this
get-
qualify for CARES Act funding?
I did get an email from Ron Leidy yesterday, and he copied Auditor Walter and Prosecutor Flays. They did seek an opinion from the Ohio Office of Budget and Management regarding the issue of the pending vehicle purchases. They acknowledge that while in general vehicle purchases may be questionable, the documentation to support this assertion is adequate. And so I don't think that we will have an issue with the justification for it. It's detailed, the letters that accompanied the request, and it appears, at least from the Ohio Office of Budget Management, that it's an acceptable expense for the coronavirus relief funds.
Okay. I mean, on one hand, like we've listened to a lot of this CARES Act money coming through here, and I understand we've just qualified for another $3.8 million or something, which, I mean, on one hand, as sitting here, I understand the idea of trying to utilize that and get everyone the resources they need to be prepared and continue on with the issue at hand. But on the other hand, as a taxpayer, and it just it blows my mind that this is continuing on and on and on, and we're trying to figure out different ways to buy stuff. That I don't understand. The vehicles with the vinyl seats. That's to me a stretch. It's buying everybody their own tool set because we're worried about people touching tools and stuff like that. I mean, I think at some point, but I understand what we are doing as a county to try and submit for that, but it is a
I think as long as we are targeting areas that have had a genuine need for a vehicle, like in this case, a vehicle where you have a department where there is a lot of vehicle sharing,
Mhm.
where there is a lot of opportunity for things like this
Mhm.
to happen, that as long as we're targeting those areas and not just buying extra
Yeah.
cars,
Right.
I think,
I mean, I get it.
it's
I
up to you
understand.
guys,
I
you know,
understand that.
in this particular situation, but it seems like, based on the description of the need, that this is an area probably where,
Okay.
where it's justifiable. There may be other areas that come before you.
I mean, I've
it's
heard,
not.
you know, there was a requested, or at least there was the proposal to sheriff's departments about their vehicles, you know, which obviously, there you're talking a lot of cross-contamination, you know, different officers, plus, you know, transporting whoever else in the back of the seats and so on and so on, but there was a, you know, even talking to our own sheriff, he said not so fast on going out and buying these vehicles, that there's potentially, you know, an issue
Yeah,
with.
Jerry and I listened to the presentation
Okay.
yesterday that the sheriff had listened to in regards to that, and they did say it. You know, the lawyer did indicate that this is an area between the extremes of
Mhm.
definitely yes and definitely no. So this
Okay.
is a gray area.
Okay.
And as the auditor and prosecutors sought an opinion from, you know, budget management,
Yeah.
as long as you have a good justifiable reason and thought pattern behind it,
Okay.
they'll stand behind it, so.
And
It really does come down to a case-by-case basis, depending on what you're looking for. And I think where the sheriff was coming in was to have a car, just to buy extra cars and
Mhm.
having them sit there to be able to switch out is really questionable.
Mhm.
As opposed to in this situation where you've got a vehicle that everybody's using,
Mhm.
you're replacing that vehicle because you can't clean it properly between uses.
Right.
With a vehicle, you can clean properly
Right.
between uses.
And I think in, like, you know, I support the prosecutor and the auditor's thoughts on their two vehicles. I think both their vehicles were getting up there in miles and age, I believe. You know, so it was.
It's a good time. It's
It
a
was
good time to
potentially,
do it,
they were
yeah.
gonna be looking for a new vehicle anyway, I think, you know,
Right.
regardless, but.
Right. Although it wasn't budgeted.
It was
so-
not budgeted, yeah,
Correct.
yeah. But, I mean, do you kind of understand where I'm coming from a little bit?
Completely
Like, yeah.
understand. I've had the same
Yeah.
issue. We've had, Adrian and I have had a number of
Yeah.
discussions about different things that
Right.
I've come across.
I mean,
It's like,
I just feel like we're going down this rabbit hole here. It's not just as a county, but as a state and a nation, and continuing, like, where is this gonna end on, how much are we gonna invest into this, you know?
Well, I definitely think we're gonna have a hard time spending the 3.3 million unless
Yeah.
they expand the parameters for its use in some way, so.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be a stretch.
Yeah. Well,
It's like the Twilight Zone.
my kids will be paying for that, I'm sure, right?
My grandchildren.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
So
well,
for clarification, you're okay with the car plan?
yeah, with that explanation, I'm okay with it.
So moved.
Second.